So, prayers of Queen Kunti. So far we covered only 7 verses. So, how many are there in the prayers of Queen Kunti? 26. So, will you be able to cover 18 today? No. So what you have to do? You have to read these verses on your own. So the 8th one, which is actually the 25th verse of the 8th chapter of the first canto, goes like Bipado santu ta shashvat tatra tatra jagad guru bhavato darshanam jat syad apunar bhava darshanam. I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated births and deaths. Apunar bhava darshanam. So Kunti Devi is praying to Krishna. So in the previous verse, Kunti Devi mentioned to Krishna all the different calamities that she had gone through with her children. At a young age, she lost her husband. She had to bring up 5 children, and even as children, they faced various difficulties. Duryodhan poisoned Bhima, tried to kill him. Then they tried to burn them, all 6 of them. 5 Pandavas and Kunti in a house of Shelak. In this way there had been so many calamities, and Krishna protected them all the time and time again. Now, generally people don't want calamities. People don't want difficulties. But Kunti Devi, what she is saying? Let there be calamities. Bipado shantu ta shashvat. Bipad means danger. Let there be danger again and again. Because through these difficulties, through this dangerous situation, we get to see you. We receive your mercy. We get to see you. And when one gets to see you, then one doesn't have to see repeated birth and death. So seeing Krishna, one becomes free from the dangerous situation of birth and death. Which situation is more dangerous? These calamities of this world, or being in the cycle of birth and death? Which situation is more dangerous? Devotees know that the situation of birth and death is the most dangerous situation. Vipado shantu ta sarv shashvat tatra tatra jagad guru bhavato darshanam jat syat apunar bhava darshanam. Then there is no possibility of seeing the cycle of birth and death. Then the next one, she is saying, Janmaisharja Sruta Shribhir Edhamana Madah Puman Naibarhati Adhi Bhautim Vai Tam Akinchana Gocharam. Janma, Aisharja, Shruta, Shribhir. These are the desirable objects of this material nature. Janma means birth in exalted families. Aisharja means opulence. Shruta, education, learning. And Shribhi, physical beauty. So these are the things that everybody wants. These are the consequences of good karma. As a result of piety, one gets birth in an exalted family or material wealth.
Can we get the microphone a bit closer so that we can listen here?
It's all right. It's all right now? Hari Bol. So birth in aristocratic family, having a lot of wealth, being wealthy, having good education or being learned, wise, wisdom, and physical beauty. These four things everybody desires in the material nature. And they are the results of pious activities. As a result of piety, one gets these benefits. But these things, although it's desirable, but they don't give us Krishna consciousness. It is not that being born in an exalted family one will become a devotee of Krishna, or wealth will make one a devotee of Krishna. Physical beauty or education will make one Krishna conscious. So since they don't make one Krishna conscious, what's the use of those four things? That is the feeling of a devotee. What's the advantage? What's the point in being born in an aristocratic family? What's the point in being wealthy or learned or handsome or beautiful? Janmaisharja Sruta Shribhir Edhamana Madah Puman. In a way, this Edhamana means they gradually increase the pride of an individual. These things, these material situations, exalted birth, wealth, etc., what do they eventually do? They simply make one proud of oneself, one's possession. And as a result of this pride is actually an impediment to becoming Krishna conscious. They don't help us to become Krishna conscious, rather they are impediments to our Krishna consciousness. Like we notice, people, those who are very wealthy or very successful in life, they don't want to take to Krishna consciousness. They feel, I have everything, why should I depend upon Krishna? Or people, those who are very handsome, very beautiful, rather it's better not to have them. Because when you don't have them, then we become more humble. These things make one puffed up. These things make one arrogant. Oh, I am the son of such and such person. I belong to such and such family. People feel proud. Or I have so much money. Everybody should come to me. The sadhu should come to me and glorify me for few rupees. Like people feel like that. Rich people. Or those who are very handsome. Oh, the whole world is worshipping me. Why should I worship anybody? So many people are after me. They want my favor. So instead of becoming an asset, they actually become, in the real sense, they become a hindrance to our spiritual progress. But if one, in spite of all these four, becomes devotee, that is of course very nice, but generally people don't become devotee. Edhamana madah puman naibarhati abhidhatum vai tam akinchana gochara. They don't enable one to become Krishna conscious because Krishna is akinchana gochara. Akinchana gochara. Akinchana gochara means one who is visible, gochara. Prabhupada of course used the expression approachable. One who is approachable, akinchana, by those who have nothing. Those who have nothing, they can come to Krishna more easily than those people, those who have so much material opulences. My Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feelings. But at the purport, Prabhupada at the end is making a very nice point. I'll just read that part. Everything can be used in the service of Krishna. If one remains intoxicated and does not use one's material assets for the service of Krishna, they're not very valuable. But if one can use them for the service of Krishna, they become extremely valuable. To give an example, 0 has no value. But as soon as the digit 1 is placed before the zero immediately becomes 10. If there are 2 zeros, they become 100, and 3 becomes 1000. Similarly, we are intoxicated by material assets that are actually no better than 0. But as soon as we add Krishna, these tens and hundreds and thousands and millions of zeros become extremely valuable. The Krishna consciousness movement therefore offers a great opportunity to the people of the West. They have an overabundance of the zeros of materialistic life. And if they simply add Krishna, their life will become sublimely valuable. And during Prabhupada's time, most of the devotees were from the West. So, and Prabhupada actually taught them how to use their wealth. Generally, the boys and girls in the West, they're from opulent families. They were physically very handsome. But by coming in contact with Srila Prabhupada, they learned to offer their wealth, offer their beauty, offer everything to the service of Krishna. And Prabhupada used that. Prabhupada took these Western devotees to India, and Indians were not interested to listen to Prabhupada. They used to think, oh, he is another sadhu. Actually, that's the attitude of the Indians. I have seen so many sadhus. In my village, there are so many sadhus. So why do we have to listen to another sadhu? But they couldn't recognize that the message that Srila Prabhupada brought, the message that Srila Prabhupada carried, no other sadhus, so-called sadhus, carried. And in most cases, they are not sadhus. They may be some whatever else, but in most cases they are not sadhus. Meaning, they don't know Krishna, and they don't become devotees of Krishna. So unless one knows Krishna, unless one has taken shelter of Krishna, he cannot be sadhu. No matter how he looks, no matter how bright is the color of his saffron robe, no matter how long is his hair, or no matter how handsome he may be. People generally look at the sadhus also that way. Sometimes I tell them that if Amitabh Bachchan became a sadhu, the whole India will fall at his feet. Because they don't look for the wisdom that he is imparting. They simply go by the external appearance. Oh, look how handsome he is. So that's why nowadays the movie stars are also they're coming close to sadhus. They have taken one step forward. From movie stardom, they are now entering into politics to gain popularity or power. But when they will realize that even more power lies in becoming sadhus, then probably they will pretend to be sadhus. Like in America, we saw people went from India and they became sadhus. Like one such person is actually Dr. Mishra, who Prabhupada was staying with. He was a doctor, went to America, and probably nobody gave any recognition to his no patient was coming to him. So he became a yoga teacher. And he opened a yoga ashram called Ananda Ashram. And like that, like people take these as an occupation. Now becoming a sadhu has become an occupation in a way. Anyway, when Srila Prabhupada was in India, Indians didn't listen to him, didn't want to listen to him. But when Prabhupada brought the Americans, then the Indians became interested. Oh, the Americans are following him, so he must be a big sadhu, big guru. And Prabhupada used those American boys and girls. Prabhupada used to call them his dancing white elephants. And Prabhupada used to explain why dancing white elephants. Like if an elephant dances, then everybody goes to watch that elephant. Like elephant one may see on the street quite frequently. But if the elephant is dancing, like in circuses, you see, people go to the circus because they see the elephants are dancing, elephants are playing football, elephants are doing all kinds of things. And now a dancing elephant becomes attractive. And if it's a white elephant, dancing white elephant, then he becomes even more attractive. So that's what Prabhupada did with his Western disciples. They attracted people. Indians became serious. And Prabhupada used their wealth also. Many devotees offered everything. Like Jayananda Prabhu, he joined Srila Prabhupada and he had his savings, $5,000. And those days $5,000 was a lot of money. Even in dollars, there was a lot of money. And he gave all his money to Srila, all his $5,000 to Prabhupada. In this way, there are many devotees. This is just an example. They offered everything, whatever they had, they offered to Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada used that in printing books and spreading Krishna consciousness. So in one hand, Janma Aishwarya Shuta Sribhi is detrimental to one's spiritual progress, but if they can use them in Krishna's service, that becomes very advantageous. Namo akinchana vittaya nibritta guna brittaye Atma Ramaya Shantaya Koiballo Pataye Namaha. So now again she is offering her prayers to Krishna. Namo. Remember how she began her prayer? Very good. So how many of you still remember the verse? Okay, Vinod Bihari. Very good. Yes. Okay, any more Haribols? Anyone else? The other day, Harsharani recited the verse. She was the first one. Today Vinod Bihari did. Let me see some of the brilliant performances. What happened? Anyway. So now again we are on the 10th verse, again we are coming back. So she is saying Namo. Previously she started her prayers by saying Namaste. I offer my obeisances. And again she is saying Namo. Now you remember that how unusual it is? Most of you are coming from Indian background. Do you ever offer obeisances to your junior? Did you offer obeisances to your junior? Do you offer obeisances to your senior? No, that also you've forgotten. So anyway, the Indian culture is that juniors offer obeisances to the senior, and the senior offer their blessings to the junior. Now Krishna is actually junior to Mother Kunti, Queen Kunti. What is the relationship between Krishna and Queen Kunti? Right, nephew and aunt. Queen Kunti is the aunt of Krishna. Krishna's father's sister is Kunti Devi. So Krishna should offer obeisances to Kunti Devi. Actually, Krishna used to offer obeisances even to Yudhishthira Maharaj because he is senior to him. Now here Kunti Devi is offering obeisances to Krishna. Why? Because she knows that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, she would not offer obeisance. Namo akinchana vittaya. Now, previous verse, do you remember? It mentioned this word, akinchana. Akinchana means who has nothing. Prabhupada used the expression materially exhausted. Who has nothing. Meaning a beggar who has nothing. So, he said in the previous verse, akinchana gochara, those who are materially devoid of everything, they can see him, akinchana gochara, or they can recognize him. Those who are materially exhausted, impoverished, they recognize Krishna because they take shelter of Krishna. And in this one, she is saying akinchana vittaya. Vitta means wealth. So akinchana vitta means Krishna is the wealth of those who have nothing. Those who have nothing, Krishna is their wealth. And that is the qualification of a devotee. A devotee's only wealth is Krishna. Namo akinchana vittaya nibritta guna brittaye. And what does Krishna do? Krishna seizes the activities of the modes of material nature. Nibritta guna brittaye. Britti means waves or effect. So the effects of the modes of material nature are nullified or destroyed by Krishna. Therefore, he is nibritta guna brittaye. Atma Ramaya Shantaya. Atma Ramaya, one who is deriving his joy from within himself. He is Atma Rama. And he is Shanta. Krishna is completely peaceful. Kaivalla Pataye Nama. Kaivalla Pataye. Kaivalla Pati means the one who is the master of those who are aspiring for liberation. The monis. The munis. They are known as Kaivallapati. My obeisances are unto you, who are the property of the materially impoverished. You have nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. You are self-satisfied, and therefore You are the most gentle and are master of the monists. So next verse, Manne tvam kalam ishanam anadi nidhanam vibhum shamang charantam sarvatra bhutanam jan mitho kali. My Lord, I consider your Lordship to be eternal time, the supreme controller, without beginning and end, the all-pervasive one. In distributing your mercy, you are equal to everyone. The dissensions between living beings are due to social intercourse. So in this way, through the prayers of a devotee like Queen Kunti, we get to recognize Krishna. Through the prayers, they actually broadcast the qualities of Krishna, activities of Krishna. And by hearing those prayers, we get to know who Krishna is. Like, just knowing that Krishna is God is not enough. It is important to understand why Krishna is God, how Krishna is God. Like in other religions, we notice in Christianity and in Islam, although they very strongly believe in God, but they don't have any understanding. And that's why they end up in all kinds of difficulties. But if one properly understands him, then he won't face those difficulties. That's why we find the followers of the Vedic culture, who are commonly known as the Hindus, they're so tolerant. Whereas the Christians and Muslims often are very, very violent, especially Islam. That religion is causing so much difficulties in this world. So causing so much violence. Even among themselves, they are becoming so violent. There are two groups, Shiites and Sunnis. Although both of them are Muslims, but they are fighting with each other. With the claim, we are better. Or why did you do that to us? Like they're fighting. On the other hand, we find that the followers of the Vedic culture, they're extremely tolerant. Extremely tolerant. Even at the face of death, they were not affected. One of the great Sikh gurus is Guru Tegh Bahadur. Tegh Bahadur is the father of Guru Gobind Singh. And Guru Gobind Singh actually created this Khalsa, or the Sikhs. So, Tegh Bahadur was arrested by the Muslims. And the Muslims those days India was being ruled by the Muslims those days. The Muslim kings were ruling. And especially one was extremely violent, extremely cruel. And that was Aurangzeb. He just wanted to convert entire India into Islam those days. And so Tegh Bahadur was arrested, and Tegh Bahadur was given an offer. You give up your religion, you become a Muslim, and you'll be forgiven. Otherwise, we'll kill you. So, Tegh Bahadur was undaunted. He said, no, I'm not going to give up my religion. And so Tegh Bahadur was beheaded. They severed his head from his body. But when his body fell, they noticed that there was a piece of paper tucked into his turban. And in that there was a writing. He said, I gave my head, but I didn't give my essence. So this is how valiant these people were. And actually that's one thing the Sikh religion, the Sikh leaders have undergone an inconceivable amount of violence, and on their part sacrifice. Like I was just thinking, Tegh Bahadur, then Guru Gobind Singh. And Guru Gobind Singh fought with the Muslims very valiantly. And they captured his sons. And so their sons also are given the offer. You give up your religion, and then we will give you the entire province of Sindh, which was a very prosperous province, where the Sindhis come from, which is in Pakistan now. But they did not. Young boys. And you know how they were killed? They were buried alive. Bricks upon bricks were put around their body. Even when it came to their neck and said, still now you can make your choice, they would give up. Then they were buried alive. Cemented in a tomb. There are so many such examples. We also know the example of Haridas Thakur. The Muslim Nawab wanted to kill him, beating him publicly in 22 marketplaces, so that their idea was, let everybody see what is the consequence of a Muslim becoming a Hindu. Of course, Krishna protected Haridas Thakur. He was beaten to 22 marketplaces. Actually, this beating was so ruthless that an ordinary person would die in the first place where they are being beaten. 3-4 people are continuously beating. But Haridas Thakur just kept on chanting, as if nothing happened to him. And they were surprised. Those who were beating him, they became worried. We are beating him like this and nothing is happening to this person. So they told him that, look, we can see that you are a very exalted personality. But the thing is, if we don't kill you, then the king will kill us, Nawab will kill us, because we failed to execute his order. So please do something about it. So Haridas Thakur said, okay, then I'll die. So he laid on the ground and he was dead. All the symptom of life disappeared from his body. Then they got very happy. Okay, so now he died. But when they wanted to carry him, they found that they can't even lift his body. As if the entire weight of the universe has come down on him. They can't. Many people got together, tried to lift him, couldn't lift him. Then they started to cry again. Oh, we can't lift you, how are you going to carry you to the king? Then Haridas Thakur's body became light. They carried him to the king. And the king said that throw him in the Ganga. He is not fit to be buried. For the Muslims, burial is a big act of deliverance. After death, if you are buried, then they consider that your soul will be in peace. So they decided to throw him in the Ganges. Throwing him in the Ganges for us is the best thing that can happen after death. So, and Haridas Thakur's body went floating in the Ganges and came to Shantipur. And when he came to Shantipur, he came onto the bank of the river and started to shout the holy name, chant the holy name loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Advaita Acharya was very worried. They got the news, what happened, that Haridas Thakur had been arrested and he is being beaten in marketplaces. And they were naturally very worried about him. But when they heard Haridas Thakur chanting Hare Krishna, they all just came running out of their house, embraced Haridas Thakur, shedding tears incessantly from their eyes. So this is how the Lord protects his devotees. So the thing is that why the Hindus are so staunch in their faith. Why the devotees of ISKCON are so staunch in their faith. Because they have got the message of another dimension. Therefore, they are not concerned so much about this dimension. They know that they belong to another dimension. So whatever happens in this dimension is not important to them. Therefore, if somebody wants to drag them down to this dimension, they say, we are not interested. Then they say, okay, then we'll eliminate you from this dimension. Their response is, fine, do it. Because after all, we don't belong to this dimension. So that is the attitude of a devotee. In the early days in ISKCON also, we faced many, many difficulties like that. One such difficulty was deprogramming. You know about deprogramming? No? Nobody knows deprogramming? Deprogramming it was started by one gangster. One African American gangster called Ted Patrick. You see, these people, they find different ways of making money. So he started this program called deprogramming. And many parents of the devotees were not happy that their children joined ISKCON. In a way, it's understandable. They didn't know ISKCON is a new movement, so they didn't know what ISKCON was. They didn't know what they were doing, and they were acting in a strange way. They shaved up their head and started to wear bed sheets, and they stopped eating meat, stopped taking alcohol or any kind of, even tea and coffee. So they thought that these boys and girls became crazy. And so they somehow wanted to get their children back to the so-called normal life. So this St. Patrick took advantage of that, and he made a condition that pay us a large sum of money. The minimum charge actually was $25,000. And those days $25,000 was something like, say, about $250,000 of today. But some parents were very wealthy, and in order to get their children back, they were ready to pay. But what this person used to do, his thing was, these Hare Krishnas are brainwashing these people. They're brainwashing them. Meaning they are affecting their thought process by their ideas and the ways. And and he started a thing called deprogramming, from the brainwashing. And they would forcibly, violently kidnap these boys and girls, take them into some solitary place, isolated place, conceal them keep them captive in a room, often even tied up hands and feet. And they would subject them to all kinds of mental torture. And they would even tell them that unless you give up your allegiance to ISKCON, we'll never let you go. You'll remain in this condition. And eventually it went into the court, became a big court case. And by Krishna's mercy, we won the court case. So things like that was happening, like in spite of being tortured and subjected to such tormentation, most of these boys and girls did not give up. And then they made a strategy, which was actually masterminded by Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Tamal Krishna Maharaj is actually he was very intelligent person. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj taught the boys and girls that if they deprogram you, then you go along with what they say. Don't resist. Just go along with what they tell you to do. And then when they let you go, then you come back. So this is how devotees also counteracted this deprogramming and St. Patrick eventually was arrested and put into prison. But this is the thing, like Krishna consciousness is so profound that when one gets a taste of it, can't give it up. They can't give it up. So that is the essence of the Vedic wisdom. They give us such profound understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that when one becomes properly situated in this understanding, he can become completely unaffected and immune to material conditions. So this is what we find in Kunti Devi's prayers. Thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande. Any question? Yes, Shachimata. Give her the mic. Sachimata is at the back. At the back.
Guru Maharaj, as you were mentioning Haridas Thakur's torture, and at the same time our boys and girls going through their trauma, I'm just trying to remember the beautiful verse in Haridas Thakur has recited in Chaitanya Bhagavat. If you wouldn't mind mentioning that.
Well, you are saying it, say it. We don't have to ask for permission. Go ahead.
It was so beautiful verse that Thakur has mentioned. Khanda khanda jai jai This is the verse I just wanted to hear from you. That's all.
You said it and now you want to hear from me. Okay, next question. Go into that. The meaning of that verse is, Haridas Thakur is saying, if my body is cut to pieces and if the life here leaves this body, still I won't be able to stop or give up chanting the holy name of the Lord. Any, Ramananda, I think you had a question.
Yes. Yes, Guru Maharaj. Queen Kunti is inviting again, she would invite all those calamities to go through again. And in Christianity, and some devotees are preaching like that also. We had a thing like we had in Belgium very famous Father Damian. He went to the leprosy islands, voluntary, and he was doing service there, and then he became a leper himself, and like that he died. And that, so it's kind of, you know...
No, it's not kind of. It's totally different.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
So I would like you to comment.
I mean, where is the question of, serving Krishna and serving the lepers is the same thing? Like in today's world, people think that these are great activities. Mother Teresa became so popular. Another person, he went to Calcutta to serve the lepers. As if Calcutta is the city of lepers. Right? And what she did, those people, those who are poverty-stricken and didn't have enough to eat, she forced them, led them to eat meat. Now what is better, to be in a poverty-stricken condition or start eating meat? So is she benefiting them or... But she gets a big recognition all over the world. Now the same person served the lepers, became affected by leprosy himself and died. Okay, the story ends there. So our business is not like that. Our business is to serve Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, the supreme enjoyer, the reservoir of pleasure we serve. Our object of service is not the suffering lepers and people who are deprived in various ways.
And because it gets subtle, some devotees they preach, because Mother Kunti says she would invite the calamities, and some devotees they preach, you should take up some voluntary suffering for Krishna.
That's Christianity.
Yes.
That's Islam also. They have this occasion, they beat themselves. What's it called? Maharam. Anyway.
Hare Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna at one point in chapter 6 is asking Krishna that what happens to the unsuccessful yogi when he doesn't reaches to his goal. So Krishna says that in his next birth he is in the heavenly planets, and then later he is born in an opulent family or a family of the transcendentalist. So then, is this a blessing? I mean, it's not being born like how we read. If you are Suchinam Shmadam Gehe, if you are born like the good family, opulences, this could be a risk to you also, in the sense that you fall down.
Well, you see, the point here is that the practice of yoga produces piety. These are pious activities. And the result of pious activities are these. Birth in aristocratic family and so forth. So, as a result of their performance of yoga, which is a pious activity, they get a benefit in that way. But that is not the ultimate benefit. The ultimate benefit is Krishna consciousness. The purpose of yoga is to bring one to the point of Krishna consciousness. But if one is unsuccessful, then at the same time, if he is eager to get material benefit out of that, they get this kind of benefits. But those who are surrendered to Krishna, Krishna takes care of them. That's the difference between a yogi and a devotee. See, by being born in a exalted family and wealthy family and so forth, one get this material benefits, but if he doesn't get an opportunity to continue his spiritual path, then what's the use of that? Rather, it is an undesirable effect. But when one takes to Krishna consciousness, then Krishna actually guides him. An example is Bharat Maharaj. When he left his body, he didn't get his birth in an exalted family. He got his birth in a body of a deer. Because Krishna was guiding him. By giving him the birth in a deer body, Krishna burnt out his all karma. And in his next life, now he is a pure devotee.
Guru Maharaj, just to clarify a bit further, I mean, this example of Bharat Maharaj, like he was already exalted devotee, but those who are like in the yoga ladder, like starting from the lower rung, like to go to a higher rung, but their objective is to finally get to bhakti, then if they don't reach to the goal of that bhakti mark or get a prema, something, what is their result?
Yoga is not always leading to bhakti. Many yogis, they want material opulence, yoga siddhi. Yoga siddhis are actually the traps. The goal of yoga is bhakti, true. But in order to reach that goal, there are many pitfalls also, many allurements to deviate you from that, many temptations. So the yoga siddhis are the temptations that may take you away from your main objective. This is how one has to constantly face the tests of Maya. Before Maya allows us to become a devotee, Maya will test us in many, many ways. But we have to actually, a devotee's mood should be only Krishna, nothing else. All we want is Krishna, nothing else. That should be the attitude of a devotee.
Like once you take to Krishna consciousness, like we are like following the path of Krishna consciousness as Prabhupada has designed for us. But maybe we are still not successful or pure enough, like at the time of death. So what happens to that such kind of like who's following at least the path of Krishna consciousness, reach to that level?
Don't worry about what will happen to them. Rather, our business is to consider what will happen to me. what's the point in finding out what's happening to them if I am in trouble? Right? Therefore, our attitude should be, no matter what, at the time of death, let's pray to Krishna that we can remember him. Let's be in a situation where I'll be reminded about Krishna at that time. So, that is, the point actually is that everybody should try to be concerned about his situation at that time, so that he does not remember Krishna. He does not fail to remember Krishna. Yes, Radharani? Just take the mic.
Maharaj, I just want to check if I understood correctly. So these 5 acquisitions that we get from from past pious activities.
4.
The good education, beauty, wealth, and opulence, and good high parentage.
Yeah.
So so they are actually traps, because
They're actually
traps because it prevents us from surrendering to Krishna because of the pride.
It can be, it may not be. It depends upon the individual's Krishna consciousness. Right? It can be a trap to others, but at the same time, look at Narottam Das Thakur. Look at Raghunath Das Goswami. Look at the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. They're born in very exalted families. They're very wealthy. They were very learned. And they were very handsome. So they had all these 4 wealth, opulences. But they used all that in the service of Krishna. In ISKCON also we see that many such exalted personalities, like Ambarish Prabhu, Henry Ford's great-grandson. Obviously, he has, lots of piety to be born in that family. And he's so handsome, so opulent. But he became a devotee of Krishna, and he's trying to serve Krishna with all his facilities that he has.
Guru Maharaj, then can it be said that it's only by the mercy of Krishna that even if one has all these traps, that one does get to Krishna consciousness? Because you've seen a family of everyone has this opulence and so on, but just one person will get the mercy and take to Krishna consciousness.
Well, try to create the good fortune for others also. But the thing is that in most cases you'll see that they don't respond. They don't respond favorably. So yes, it's a matter of good fortune. It's not that everybody in that situation will become devotees. Like as you were saying, like out of 5 brothers, 1 brother becomes a devotee. And others become gross materialists. So those who get Krishna consciousness, we have to recognize that they are extremely fortunate. So, okay, last question, if there's any. Okay, it's already 9 o'clock. Thank you very much.